what is the role and responsibility of the man? And if he does not carry out this role, he's a bad man. What is that?
Protect and provide.
Protect and provide. That's a given. And if he does not protect and provide, he's a horrible man, right?
Man. He's trifling.
Okay. Yeah. What is the clear-cut thing pertaining to a role and responsibility for the wife? And if she does not do this, she's considered a horrible wife and she's going to be held accountable. What is it? Anybody? Any takers? So if she decides she don't want to submit, is she considered a horrible wife?
This is Caesar Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatry, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
You know what our podcast is about. We've been heavy talking about, we've talked about a lot of stuff this year, man, from like leadership. We haven't just been fixated on relationships and dating, but we have found ourselves here a lot over the course of this year. And while we were kind of, taking a bit of a break, I was traveling a little bit for work, wasn't able to really record over the past week or so. There were clips that came out that we shared amongst each other that really had people talking, and just want to talk about it and use them as teachable moments, just to kind of discuss and get our thoughts about it. I ran them by you when we was at the barbershop. We talked about it, so you already got thoughts, so you ready to go. But the first one is of a guy who he goes by the handle Jonathan Does Comedy, basically talking about dating in LA. Popular TikTok in IG that went viral. Black is going to play that, and when he plays that, we're going to come back.
So I just left the restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up, and apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day, and the time. I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that, I guess, is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself and realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, LA dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love, to be kind to one another. Like, what, ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong?
All right. So that was the clip. We all had thoughts about this. I want to start first, even though we have LP as our guest. LP, you've been married how long, man?
19 years.
19. 19, 14, 11. Okay? We have thoughts about this as married men. Black is single. And one of the things that I found was interesting when I went to the comments of this video was this guy got a lot of sympathy, not just from women, but even men. And obviously a lot of people can agree that dating is very difficult, especially I can imagine how tough it will be in a city like LA or even a city like New York or Miami, those types of cities. But obviously as single people, there are unique challenges that I'm not even privy to. I'm aware of it, but I don't experience it. It's not part of my lived experience because I'm married, right? Black, how did that resonate with you being a single guy? And was there anything that you identified with in that clip?
I guess the main thing was just when I saw it, I felt like he needed some work to do on himself first. Like he needed to get more confidence and be like when I read some of the comments, some of the things were like, hey, get you like a coach, or get you like somebody that like can mentor you to help you through like these situations. And that's how I kind of view it, like, hey, he needs to get himself some help first and then maybe try again, because the women aren't going to change. You got to do something about yourself first before you can like get back out there and like stick your neck out.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. LP, you saw that clip.
I did.
Go ahead and go.
Well, we have several things that we have to unpack when it comes to relationships, especially with this younger generation. You're in situations where a lot of people are growing up in the house. You know, they're not really exposed to observing a lot of relationships. And at the same time, with a lot of the younger people not being with them not interacting with human beings on a consistent basis, they don't have a lot of practice, so to speak. When we were younger, you know, we did things like we would go to the mall, and it was like a game. Like, let's see how many numbers we can get. And we went to total strangers, females who were total strangers, and we tried our luck. And a lot of times we got rejected, but a lot of times we got their number. And so we were gambling like that on a consistent basis because we were very social beings. So we're in this time now where a lot of young people, they're not socializing a lot at all. If they do like a girl.
You got dating apps too.
Right. I'm saying from a younger, like whenever they're younger.
I got you.
They're going to eventually become adults like that. But I'm just saying in their younger years.
Gotcha.
So in their younger years, they're not really engaging. You know, if they do like a girl, you know, he'll just go on her social media page and, you know what I'm saying, just look at her for months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he might send her a text. Hopefully she'll respond. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when they living like that, when they become an adult, you feel me? And they like, okay, I'm gonna go on this dating app and I'm gonna set up this date. And so she don't show up. I'm crushed. I've been rejected. Like, bro, I experienced that type of rejection when I was 13. When I was 14, going to the mall. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I got that rejection, you know, when the girl told me, you know what I'm saying, whenever I was in the 9th grade, and I felt like, you know, I'm in shape now. I'm not the chubby kid no more. You know, I'm getting haircuts. I'm pretty fly right now. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot my shot.
Yeah.
And she told me, you too short. I don't talk to short boys. You know, she was saying she talked to boys that's 6'4" and taller. You understand? So I was in the 9th grade when that happened. And that shook my world. You feel me? But I got some more practice. You get what I'm saying?
You developed a thick skin towards that, towards
Absolutely.
the rejection. Yeah,
absolutely. So I got some more practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it caused me to develop my fly a little bit more.
Yeah.
It caused me, okay, what do I gotta do? You know, I gotta be fresher. I gotta be cooler. I gotta be smoother. You know what I'm saying? Let me pay attention to my brother. Let me pay attention to my cousin. Let me pay attention. Let me watch how they doing, how they work. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and try again. Okay. Now we're in a generation where a lot of young people, they don't associate.
They don't have thick skin.
They don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And rejection, like the fear of rejection, is through the roof.
Yeah.
With young people because they're so used to getting what they want. You understand what I'm saying? They get what they want because us as parents, we love our children and we want to make sure they have everything they want because we want to be a good parent. So whatever they want, we give it to them.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of people that grew up like that. And so the idea of being rejected, so, you know, and then with us not doing relationships as we should, you know what I'm saying? As far as I'm talking about just dealing with people, you know, you got folks go to school, they don't talk to nobody. They go to school, they don't talk to nobody.
Right.
If they do want to say something to their partner, they'll wait till they get home and FaceTime them or text them. That's how it is. So I'm just saying the point I'm making out of all of that is that the way we have moved to nuclear families to where it's just me and my family and nobody else. We don't spend a whole lot of time with cousins. We don't spend a whole lot of time with uncles. We don't spend a whole lot of time with aunties. We don't spend a whole lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is on their own island and everybody's children are on their own island by choice. So they're not socializing or interacting. And so the issue of being rejected is like, no. So experiencing what that brother experienced, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of men who may experience something like that and they are crushed.
Yeah.
They're crushed. They can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I be talking to my children and, I talk to my boy, hey, you got the little girl, you got, man, holla at a minute. Dad, stop, Dad. Stop. I'm not going to do like you. I'm not going to. Like, come on, bro. You'll never be as fly as me. But but you getting there. You know what I'm saying? But nah, just that's the thing, man. We have to, human beings have to interact more. You understand? I'm talking about starting from the young generation. Now watch this. At the same time, us as uncles, older cousins, and things of that nature, we have to be more intentional with interacting with them, right? So we get more intentional with interacting with them and they see that we genuinely care about them whenever because whether you know it or not, they watching you. They watching how you interact with your woman. They watching how you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
They watching to see if you doing some side piece stuff, you understand? They watching all that.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so with them observing you and you interacting with them on a consistent basis, they get the opportunity to ask you questions. You know what I'm saying? You can share little tidbits of information on, hey man, you got a girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no girlfriend? Look, bro. Look, all you gotta do is just having those little conversations. Not talking to them about some lewd and, you know what I'm saying, inappropriate stuff, but just real, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to do stuff like that. But again, because we do the nuclear family thing and we just on our own island, so we don't really get that type of time with our little cousins and you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. To talk to them about things of that nature.
Black, you said some good stuff. As always, LP, you dropping jewels. Yeah, you had said something about this clip. You had read some comments. There was a specific comment that you mentioned that someone said this is how villains are created.
Yes.
That resonated with you.
Resonated.
Why did it resonate?
I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Okay.
This man, if he doesn't take Black's advice and seek help or something, can easily be thrust into the villain role. And then we've seen it. The behavior patterns change, especially towards women. He's been scarred. He's been scarred by a woman. He's got to act out against that. That sometimes could result in villain behavior in terms of, objectifying women, things of that nature.
Well, you think that, so obviously that comes from a disillusionment, right?
Oh, for
so
sure.
in other words, where do you think I'm prodding here? Because I think that's always, this is an interesting subject in terms of the origin story of a would-be Thanos. Is there's a disillusionment that comes from an unrealized expectation or perception of her. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think that perception? What do you think that perception could be?
In this case,
In this case of just men in general who go out on a date with the woman, get rejected, heartbroken, whatever, and they turn full on, these women ain't, you know what I mean?
yeah.
What was the expectation or perception he had of a particular woman or women that led him to getting his heart broken or expectation?
That's simple. If I ask you on a date and you agree, you show up.
Okay.
Because that was the agreement.
Okay.
Am I getting?
You're getting there.
Okay.
Could it be that he put her perhaps on a pedestal?
Okay. So we don't know enough about it to go there, but I see where you're going.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
with the women that you have liked, where did they end up?
Leave me and my rejections out of this.
I'm just saying. The women who had you had your attention, were they on equal footing as you and other people
at the time,
or were they elevated to a certain place?
Yes, I elevated them.
Okay,
for sure.
Is it possible that the problem with the pedestal is there's nowhere to go but down?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, and when they let you down, they fall off in your head.
True.
Right? And this is the woman that you've been eyeing for God knows how long. Right?
Yeah.
So when they disappoint you and she's no longer the angel that you envisioned her to be, what does that do to your psyche?
Welcome to the manosphere.
He's not lying, though. He's not lying.
He's not. Yeah. Yeah.
You asked
That's
me
real.
what a few weeks back.
That's real.
You
bro.
asked me a few weeks back how many the manosphere consists of what percentage of men who got unresolved issues with women, and I said a cool, easy 75%.
Wow.
And that's not just creators. These are people consuming the content. Because these are dudes who at one point, and one of the things that I've been doing with this podcast is because we have women who listen to our content, which I'm so grateful for. One of the things that I've tried to do is show them that men are people too. Right? We're not monsters, we're people. Just because we don't act like women, we're still people, right? I think subconsciously that same message has to be delivered to men as well. She's a person too. What we have done growing up as men is we viewed women as angels. Remember that whole perception of innocence? That she can do no wrong, especially if she's attractive. It's the halo effect. So if she's attractive, she must be a good person. She must be a nice person. That means she has to show up if she agrees to a date with me. That means
that's what a good person would do.
A good person would give me her number.
Yeah.
Right. If I asked, I said, please.
Yeah.
Right? If she doesn't, and then I see her with this guy who I don't think highly of, what is my perception of her after that?
She ain't as good as I thought she was. All right.
So, when we talk about the red pilling of men who experience this, it's coming from an unrealized expectation.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You remember we talked about being the nice guy and covert contracts. How I do this, it's quid pro quo, even though they're not even aware of the arrangement.
Right.
I do this to you, you give this back to me. So when I give to you and you don't give back to me, I'm ready to rage war, right? So when you talk about that guy in by the way, people argue, he's a comedian, the guy who did that viral clip. So there's debate of whether or not that was really real or not. Could have been. He even had viral hashtags in his video. So it's debatable. But I think a lot of men have experienced that.
Absolutely.
To LP's point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of men have experienced this. Black talked about being better as a man, looking inward. What does that look like realistically? Like how does a person get better or improve themselves in the dating game?
Well, personal development is a very, very important issue that a lot of people bypass. And the reason why people bypass the concept of personal development is because they've bought into the idea that I'm okay. You feel me? So if, again, with the whole nuclear family thing, you know what I'm saying? And mom and dad have always told you that, you're the best thing since sliced bread, son. You're the best thing since sliced bread, son. And so, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I don't have to work on myself. I don't have to personally develop. Because I don't interact with people, I don't see my flaws. I don't see that I have flaws. I don't see that I don't communicate effectively. I don't see that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not empathetic at all. I don't see that I have very narcissistic tactics that I use as a defense mechanism, you know what I'm saying, to mask my insecurities. Because I'm in this nuclear family and mom and dad are just telling me that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, I believe that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. So why do I have to change? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and then when you come to that place and then somebody tells you that you have to change, you are distraught. Because I've been who I've been. I've worked X amount of years to become who I am. And then you tell me that I have to change? You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why people avoid personal development. But if you consciously go into a realm of personally developing, now watch this. Whenever you are engaging with people and people are saying certain things about you, you know what I'm saying? And you know, oh, they just hating on me. No. The criticism that they giving you, take that. Take it and utilize it to make some adjustments because they might be right. It's not that they just hating on you.
Right.
They might be right.
Origin, yeah.
But again, if you don't associate with anybody, if you don't deal with anybody, if you're just in your little nuclear family and you go from your nuclear family to your mama put you in a you don't get a dorm room. Mom put you in your own apartment. Right?
Oh, that hurt.
So you get into your own apartment. So you just constantly, it's just you. So nobody's telling you that it stinks when you pass gas. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's telling you that. So you feel I'm okay. So when you get into a situation and you get rejected, but I'm okay. So somebody who experienced that, I want y'all to go back and pay attention to, they got an old clip of Tupac when he was 16 years old.
Oh, yeah, I saw this clip.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
The nicest young man.
Really?
He wasn't the Pac that we remembered him.
He's the nicest young man. He's very soft-spoken. My name is Tupac Shakur, and I'm 16 years old, and I was raised by women, so I love women. I respect women. And that was his conversation. 16-year-old him.
Yeah, that 9-year run after that, unrivaled.
But when he began to experience life and begin to engage in, that's when he became F these B's. The girl.
Wonder why they call you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The girl accused him of rape, all that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That threw him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of young men who are raised in good families. Mom and dad rearing them up well. They're wholesome young men, right? And then they go and engage life. And then they are rejected by females. And it's like, you either gonna turn into the hero or the villain. So because what's the difference between the hero and the villain? They both experience trauma.
True.
It's just one of them said, I'm hurting. I don't want other people to hurt. I want to save other people. But the villain say, I'm hurting. I want everybody to hurt. The whole world got to burn. Right? So you either gonna turn into the hero or the villain in those experiences, in those interactions. And so men if you pay attention to men that's on they, man, I don't care about these chicks, I do this to them, blah, 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 F these B, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dudes that's like that. They had that experience, when they was a young dude and that little girl that he really liked, he decided that he was gonna go and holler at her. And she boy, if you don't get your lame, you know what I'm saying? He experienced that. And he like, whoa, hold on, wait. But I like you. I mean, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna try again. Go home. Mama, the girl, she told me that, boy, you better stop that crying. Boy, it's more fish in the sea. Okay. And then he went out there and he tried it again.
Yeah.
Got hurt again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now watch this. But when he turned into the villain, unfortunately, the girl started liking him. Oh, so this works.
Because he stopped pedestalizing them.
Because unfortunately, a lot of times women want what they can't have. A lot of times women go after what they don't need.
Again, she's human.
Yeah, and that's got to be okay.
She's human.
Yeah,
She's human. Again, she's insecure. She has blind spots. She's not. So when you're trying to make an angel out of an imperfect human being, that is almost your destined end result right there.
100%. Yeah.
So here's the deal. This is something that we have to do to balance things in terms of from a relationship standpoint. We have to get rid of the idea of putting this in the head, in the mind of our young ladies. The concept of I'm the prize.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why the man and the woman can't be a prize? Why you gotta be the why? So you've been taught by everybody around you, girl, you the prize. You the prize. You the prize. So there's an imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So if the guy doesn't feel very valuable, right? Because she's the prize.
Right.
There's imbalance there.
He's lucky. We'll get to that later in the next clip, but go ahead.
No, say what you finna say. Say what you finna say.
He's lucky to have her.
Right.
Yeah.
So now he is sitting around like, okay, I'm lucky to have her. Okay, so she has all the value, so I don't have a lot of value. Man, I don't have a lot of value. And I'm catering to the idea, she's the prize, catering, she's the prize, but at the same time, I feel, I don't feel very valuable. Now watch this. You the prize. Yep, I'm the prize. Cater to me, I'm the prize. Now he doesn't feel valuable, okay? But he goes to work. And up at the job, boy, you valuable. My coworker, the female, she told me I'm valuable. And not only did she tell me I'm valuable, she treated me like I'm valuable. Then I go back home. I'm the prize. I'm valuable. You're not valuable. I don't feel very valuable here. Let me go to work early. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, that's a nice tie you got on. Thank you. You always have nice ties. I do? Yeah, your suit game, you look good every time you. Really? Oh man. I saw on Facebook you was posting with your family, and oh my God, you're such a great man. Like your woman is very lucky to have you. Really? Yeah, because I seen what you're doing with your children, and oh my God, you're such a great father. There's not a lot of men like you. Really? Go home. I'm the prize. I'm the prize. I'm not valuable. They told me at work I was valuable. I mean, I'm sorry. Nothing. I didn't say nothing. And then next thing you know it, right?
Yep.
He in a situation he ain't got no business being in. For no other reason but because She just told him that he had value, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's dangerous. You know, it causes a lot of imbalance. You feel me? So I just believe we all have to, you know, come to the table, this proverbial table that we always talk about. You know what I'm saying? With appreciating one another's value and acknowledging one another's value. Now watch this. Our value is not limited to our education and the amount of money that we make. Unfortunately, in relationships, everybody has limited, you know, he's a high value man if he makes this amount. And if he makes this amount, I can respect him. If he makes this amount, I can submit to him. If he makes this amount, I can cater to him. If he makes this, but if he don't make this amount, right? And then on the flip side, guys, you know, I pay all the bills. So I have a right to act a fool and be a fool.
Right.
Because I pay all the bills, right? Or if the woman, if she's very well built and she has great capabilities, right? You understand what I'm saying?
I see where you're going.
Her value can't be limited to just that. Right. Because there's a whole bunch of women that can do all of that what she do and some.
Right.
You understand? So her value there has to be more to her. It has to be more to him, right? And whatever the value is, that has to be acknowledged. Aside from how they look physically, the education that they have, and the amount of money that they make.
For sure.
We have value that are very intangible. The intangible things about us, our character, our ability to resolve conflict, the spirituality that we have. These are intangibles, right? And that's valuable. That value has to be acknowledged and affirmed. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Aside from, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so in that place, that's whenever both become the prize. But if I'm just, I got a degree, I make this amount of money, you know, I'm the prize. You know what I'm saying? You not, you know, so now, you know, nah, bro, we gotta shut all that down, man. We gotta bring balance in our relationships.
Yeah, I agree. That has always been a silly argument. I think that, yeah, I always felt that it was a silly argument because whoever you choose, you should see value in them as a prize, even in of itself. To put a bow on this particular thing, I didn't know if you had anything you want to add. You good? Okay.
I'm good.
To help brothers with this, I was thinking about this gentleman. I want to just want to know what you think. I think that it'll help people to understand if you're dating. The reason why dating sucks is because people date for all sorts of reasons. It'll probably be better if everyone had one single reason why they were dating, right? Some people date because they bored, man. Like they just want to get out the house. It's really no end game. The end game is I'm here.
Right.
Right? I'm hungry and I don't want to pay for this meal, so I need a sponsor. I'm horny. I just want to fool around, right? I want an experience. That's why I get upset if you take me for coffee. No, that's not an experience. I want an experience, and I need people date for
grandiose.
All sorts of reasons.
Got to put it on IG too.
And so the mistake, I think, again, I understand we're humans and we have emotions, and it's validating to be out in public with someone that you're attracted to who also finds you attractive. I think the mistake is when we prioritize validation in our approach to dating. That's where a lot of us make the mistake. And I think if we're like that brother in the clip said, he's looking for a family. He's looking to be married. He's looking for a long-term commitment. The focus should be, does this person fit me? Which implies that there are people out there that you are attracted to who may find you attractive, who talk good, look good, smell good, fun, humorous, great company, but may not fit you, which means I can't allow their validation of me
That's good.
to be the very reason why I'm in this relationship.
That's good.
To be the reason why I'm around, because guys, we fall into it easily because see, if let's just say I'm single, you tell me, brother, she bad. You tell me, bro, you came up on her. Black telling me, bro, how did you pull her? All of y'all are I can't let her go now.
Right.
And I'm seeing red flags. I'm seeing issues. I can't let her go because I'm the man in your eyes just by proximity of being with her. Because I need her now. I need her to make me feel important. I need her to make me feel special. I need her to make me feel like the man. Instead of determining whether or not she fits me. Do I fit
I've been there, bought that.
her?
Been there, done that, bought the T-shirt with that. Boy, what he just said.
Do we fit? See, what's so funny is that companies, businesses, they have a mission, they have a goal. They also have a role carved out for someone to fill a position. When they do a phone screen, an interview, and it doesn't go well, do they shut the door and start crying about how tough it is to find applicants? They know we're gonna fill this position. They go right back to the pool of applicants.
Come on
They
now.
even go hire a headhunter if they need be. They're going to find the position because they're not only looking for someone who looks good on paper. Do you fit the role and do you fit my culture? And you can look good on paper. You can be dressed nice. You can smell good. You can talk good. But if you don't fit this role, you don't fit our company. We're on to the next. Because they're not looking to be validated as a company. They have all the validation they need. They're looking for a fit. And that is the mentality that we have to have in this dating culture because there's so many people looking for all sorts of things and they're not going to tell you straight up what they're looking for.
That's good, bro.
That is.
We cannot prioritize validation as men. We cannot. And if I do that, I'll end up publicly crying on social media
Absolutely.
about how dating sucks. I bet it does. Our last guest wanted to take a break after just a few months because it wasn't validating the outcome. No. We're never going to get anywhere looking for validation.
Right.
Because, see, you've been married how long again?
19 years.
How long?
14.
11. There's been plenty of times during my marriage I didn't feel validated.
Same.
What are you going to do with that? But she fits. She fits you. Your wife fits you, right?
Absolutely.
So we have to find a better priority when we're dating with intention. That brings me to this next clip. Black.
For richer,
For richer,
for poor.
or poorer.
Yeah. We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Bria made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke. In sickness
In sickness
and in health.
and in health.
To love,
To love,
cherish,
cherish.
and to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
All right. For better.
Or poorer.
All right, so we just heard this clip. Bride and groom at the altar, and she's repeating the vows. When it gets to the part where love, honor, and obey, she says love, honor, but no obey. Didn't even say it. A groom is laughing. Even the minister laughs. People in the crowd is laughing. I cringed, personally. Again, I want to hear his thoughts before we get to the married guys. Black, how did you feel about that one?
I would have been embarrassed because it's like the pastors pretty much validated, like, yeah, we went over this in counseling. And even after going through counseling, you still didn't want to agree to that in your vows? Because she also hesitated on the richer for poor also.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, at this point, like, I don't know if they're getting married for the right reasons. But that was like, those are some big red flags. And that should have been caught during counseling, in my opinion, but.
Yeah.
One of the unfortunate realities about this, and, you know, I'm going to just say this. Unfortunately, with a lot of people who are doing quote-unquote Christian counseling, when it comes to marriage, a lot of the counseling and the counsel, it caters to the woman. It caters to making sure she is affirmed in her being the prize, right? And everything revolves around her. And the idea of someone having a large amount of responsibility in terms of how things go is all placed on the man. And so there is a clear cut, well-known thing of what is the role and responsibility of the man. And if he does not carry out this role, he's a bad man. What is that? What's the primary role and responsibility of the man?
Protect and provide.
Protect and provide. That's a given. And if he does not protect and provide, he is considered what?
Failure.
He's a horrible
He's a
man,
bad
right?
man. He's trifling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the clear-cut thing pertaining to a role and responsibility for the wife? And if she does not do this, she's considered a horrible wife and she's going to be held accountable. What is it? Anybody? Any takers?
Submit. I'm
So if she decides she don't want to submit, is she considered a horrible wife?
Nah, she a boss chick.
She a bad bee.
Right. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
She's independent.
You get what I'm saying?
She knows her worth.
Right. So you see again that imbalance like that?
Oh, I see it.
You feel me?
Oh yeah.
So if they was to say, will you promise to protect and provide for her? And he say, provide. Everybody be like,
They wouldn't be laughing.
What's wrong with?
They wouldn't be laughing.
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying?
They wouldn't be as jovial as they were with her. Yeah.
Do you promise to love her even as Christ loved the church? Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do all that. If he was to say that, they'd be like, what the?
Yeah.
Girl? What?
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
So when it come to this thing, was she reluctant to even entertain it? Everybody's laughing. It's a joke. It's no big deal that she don't want to do this. Because unfortunately, there's no accountability. And why would the individual up front hold her accountable in that way? Because, she coming to church every Sunday and she paying tithes, so I gotta make sure she comfortable.
Got to keep the lights on.
Right.
It's unfortunately that's the price of doing business, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, bro, like stuff like when I see stuff like that, bro, I be hurt, I be disappointed because I'm like, man, fam, he got to live with this for the rest of his life that she responded in this manner at his wedding, and everybody laughed. Oh, is he not worthy of being honored and obeyed? Is he not worthy of it? Because at the end of the day, if she giving him instructions on certain things in the house, he'll humbly obey.
Right.
I bet he had to say obey.
And it was no big deal.
Yeah.
But the main thing of it is of all of it, bro. A lot of us. I'm not just throwing off on women. Us. We're in survival mode right now. And the concept when a woman is in survival mode, you feel me? Her having to be subservient or submissive or any of these things, that's a place of vulnerability. And so when you're in survival mode, you can't be vulnerable. Because if you're vulnerable, if you're in survival mode, if you could be hurt or if you could be killed or if you're in fight or flight right now. If I be vulnerable, I could possibly be hurt. So I'm in survival mode. I'm driven by anxiety and fear. And so my anxiety and my fear to obey. If I do that, I'm in a subservient position. If I'm subservient, I could be taken advantage of. I could be hurt. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of our sisters got going on. And I heard a sister made a post the other day, and she said, fellas, you gotta get her out of survival mode. Another person can't get you out of survival mode.
Hey,
they can't. If he could provide you, he can make 8 figures. He can provide you with the biggest, most beautiful home. He can give you a big bank account, all that other stuff. If you in survival mode, you still gonna function and operate like a person in survival mode. You see what I'm saying? Like that's something that's you have to do with your, say it with me, personal development. Come on, everybody say it with me. Personal development. But unfortunately, if you're told that you the prize, you the best thing since sliced bread, everybody caters to you, your behavior is not criticized or reprimanded, I don't have to personally develop. So if you're in survival mode, you're going to stay in there.
LP, I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I talked about my wedding day. I don't think I shared this. I may have shared this with you, how I began to notice, which tells you how many times I was told this on my wedding day. Be good to her now.
Oh, Lord.
Take care of her now.
Jesus.
Be good to her. Be a good man now. I begin to notice it. That's how many times it was told to me. When I look back on it in retrospect, how many people told her, hey, be a good woman to him?
Not one. I'll put money on that.
Be good to him. Take care of him now. Don't have him out here looking, right?
How many of the women was like, hey, you make sure you respect that man because you've been commanded in scripture to respect your husband. You've been commanded.
True.
And sister, you gotta love that man.
Yeah.
How many of them older women said, sister, you gotta love that man. And I've been commanded as an older woman to teach you how to love your husband. So I'm going to come alongside you and I'm gonna teach you how to love your husband. How many women went to her and told her that? You see what I'm saying? But we've been commanded to love her the same way Christ loved the church. She's been commanded to respect us, and the older women were commanded to teach the younger women how to love their husband. We got to keep our end of the deal to love her the way Christ loved the church. But who's holding her accountable to respecting her husband, and who's holding the older women accountable to teaching the younger women to love their husband?
There's we have this culture in which my worth and value as a man is keeping her happy, even if she's a difficult woman.
Yep.
My worth as a man, now that's not tied to her. Her value is independent of my temperament and how I feel. In fact, it's rarely ever her fault if something's wrong with me. I got to get it together. What does that do for the dynamic of the relationship? What does that do? What does that do? Gat, you got thoughts on what you saw, man?
Well, admittedly, I didn't see that clip. Did you send that to us?
I did.
Okay, that's on me. I didn't see it, so I'm just trying to pick up off your description. I don't think I have anything different to add. All of y'all nailed thoughts that I had. But I just can't get over that scene and just visualizing the laughter, the jovial, like this. I mean, this is serious. This is not anything to play around with.
Yeah.
This is we are at the altar. You know what I'm saying?
Before God.
Come on. So
Yeah.
that's just one thing that's resonating with me on this one. So
I think what was so, I felt bad. I wondered, like, dude, where's your folks? Where's your homeboys? Somebody got to pull you to the side.
They not. Because unfortunately, a lot of them, they in the same situation.
you think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I mean, we'll never know, but
Maybe someone did. He's got to make the decision at the end of the day. But
this is
judging by the laughter
They
and how
laugh,
and the
bro.
jovialness about it, I don't know. I don't if I'm
of
thinking.
all terms obey.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, this is for real. Now, it's her right. I mean, if she wants to modify the vows, you do that. But like, it's still serious, and I can't get over that term that she just denounced in terms of her vows. Like, so what is it going to be like?
It's going to be like
It's gonna
how
be-
it usually is. It's going to be
Happy wife, happy life.
absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the dynamic of that household.
Absolutely. That's the dynamic in a whole lot of households. And so I like to talk to our elders. I see older couples together. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Oh, man, let me ask y'all a question. What is the key to longevity? I remember one time that old man, he had his head down. He looked up. He said, whatever she say is right. He put his head down. And she was sitting there like, bro, that's a common thing, bro. Like, we seen that among our elders. Bro, I was cutting an older gentleman's hair. His wife walked him in. They in their 80s. Walked him in. He sat down quietly. And she said, okay, I need you to cut his hair this way and do this and do this and do that and da 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 da. And I'm looking at him like, so I'm cutting his hair, and after I get finished, I handed him the mirror. He looked at it and he was just like, I took the mirror back. He went in his pocket, took out his wallet, handed it to her. She went in his wallet, counted the money out, paid me, closed the wallet back, gave it back to him. He put it back in his pocket. He stood up, put his head down, and they walked out. Another time, an older couple came into the barbershop, and the gentleman was like, he walked in, he was like, how many you got? I was like, yeah, I got him, and then I got him, and then you'll be up. And the wife came to the door. How many you got? And I was like, well, I just told him that I got him, and come on, just come on. He looking at me like, I'm like, hey, bro, I can get you. I said, come on. And he, man, looked at me, turned around, walked out.
This is an older guy as well.
This is an older guy. They like in their late 60s, you know what I'm saying? This is a very common thing, bro. You feel me? And you got children and grandchildren observing this dynamic.
Yeah.
So, in so many words, you got children on a conveyor belt. Passing
Assembly
through.
line relationships.
What I'm noticing too is that you got some kids who's just like, you know what? I'm cool just playing video games the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I'm laughing.
I
but
want
that's true.
no parts of that.
Absolutely.
I'm laughing, but that is so true.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with just playing video games with my boys.
And then on the flip side, you got kids that's coming to the conclusion, I don't want a woman like my mama.
Yeah.
So they're going to find the direct opposite of their mama.
In all ways.
In all ways. Read between the lines.
I see what both of y'all did there.
Read between the lines.
Wow.
So, that's a thing, man. So I'm telling our sisters, like, sweetheart, you can't talk to that man like that. Your children are watching. You know what I'm saying? You can't, sweetheart, you can't do that. You know what I mean? And they looking at me like, what? And I'm like, that's not okay. But when was the last time she heard that?
Mm-hmm. She looked at you like you had 3 eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude come in the barbershop, I done hooked him up with a fresh beard. He done grew his beard out. I done hooked him up. That man walked out of the shop. He come back an hour later. His wife walked him in the shop. Hey, man, and you think you gonna cut my beard off, man? I'm like, why? Your beard looks great. Man, can you just cut it off for me? And I looked at her, I'm like, what's wrong? And she standing there like, man, can you just cut it for me, man? I just sit and wait until you get some time. I'm like, bro, you serious right now?
Oh my gosh.
But I'm saying if this is what you've seen on that conveyor belt, watching grandma, watching mama, you feel me? You're gonna think that that's okay.
This is why I scoff at women who say we have a patriarchy in our community.
There's none.
This is why I scoff at that, because when you look at the countless examples, how, Sway? How?
Right.
That sounds good, but how? Now there's a YouTube channel that I've fallen in love with. It's called Psych Hacks. And there's a video, short 7-8 minute video where he talks about disrespect within women. And the guy is basically saying disrespect isn't an event.
No.
It's a process. And it starts covert. It manifests in overt, what you're seeing in a barbershop, but it starts off covert. And what's so tricky about addressing disrespect when it's covert is that with the covert disrespect comes plausible deniability. You know what I mean? Like you can gaslight really easily when it's covert.
Ooh.
You can't feel that way. That's not what I was.
You're just being sensitive.
You're insecure.
You're being it. That's
again. This is why, and what I took from that is this is why it's important for you as a man to have a standard for yourself. You come into the relationship with known boundaries. Hey, this is how we're going to talk to each other. This is the level at which we're going to talk to each other. Whenever there's a problem, this is how we're going to handle it. I need you to respect me at all times. Don't mean you can't disagree with me. Doesn't mean you can't have a difference of opinion. But even in our dialogue, the respect should always remain intact. If you do that, we'll be just fine. If you don't do that, we're going to have an issue.
absolutely. That got to be put up.
You need to let me know now if you're cool with that.
That you just described is what women need, but they do not want.
Why you say that?
Going back to your point, look how some women are now in terms of it being all about them. Think about the pedestals we put them on.
Sure.
So what do you mean? I meet you and you're going to tell me how things are going to go?
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? Yeah.
What I've learned from that is those guys actually are the more attractive.
That's what that's my whole point.
They're the more attractive. Even though they didn't get their way and they feel away, that guy has because she is looking for a leader whether she knows it or not. The fact that you have a conviction to where you're able to look her in her face and tell her no, that's attractive.
You're right.
That's what made. I'm sorry.
No.
That's what made, when we look at the story of Joseph, that's what made Potiphar's wife
want him even more.
Want Joseph so much more, because she went to him and was like, "Hey, what's up? Let's get it." He like, "Girl, your husband have given me authority over everything in this house except for you. Now, how can I commit this great wickedness and sin against God?" So number one, he showed his commitment to honoring the authority that was given to him. Number two, he showed his commitment to God. That turned her on so much because she's probably used to just getting her way. Because if she went to the little slave boy and said something like that, he ain't the first. Right. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so to get that response, whoa, he has standards.
Right.
He's committed. Oh my God, that made her want him more.
Here's what's so wild about that story. Even with the respect, she still kept priding at his standards. It didn't stop at the respect. I'm still gonna poke at his. I'm gonna see if he breaks. For whatever reason, that happens with a lot of sisters. You'll set the standard and they'll just keep seeing if you're gonna crack. Keep seeing if you're gonna crack.
That's that inbox you get every 6 months from that certain female Facebook friend.
Oh, yeah.
That inbox. Hey, handsome. Hey, handsome. How are things going with you and the missus?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, handsome.
Yeah.
She keep what he's saying.
Chipping away
She
at
just
it.
keep.
See if he breaks.
Yeah.
Because one day he gonna come to the conclusion of, I don't feel respected at all. Hey, handsome.
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's this 2 years later.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So that woman was playing the long game, right? And she said, okay, I'm going to take the gloves off. The Bible says that she sent everybody away out of the house. So I like to use my imagination when I read the Bible. When a woman is walking around and nobody's in the house, she like to walk around a certain way. So
Real comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
when he came into work and looked around, where everybody at? Hey, where everybody at? And she jumped out. And the Bible says, and she grabbed him. And she said, lie with me. Right? So she already let him know, I want you. Right? Now, next thing, she grabbed him. She touched him. Physical touch. That's our thing. We like to be touched.
Preach.
She already told him she want him. So she talked that talk to him already. Then she grabbed him. Then she said, lie with me. He didn't have time to give this dissertation that he gave last time of, hell on, wait, look. No, because with all those three things working together at the same time, blood left the brain and went somewhere else.
It was south on 65.
And so the only thing he could do is run.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of brothers that are experiencing that situation, right? Where they're being disrespected, this is that and the other, and they're constantly having to run. They're running every day. They're running.
Yeah.
They running. The women at the job, he got to run. The women on social media, he got to run.
So I agree. What do we tell those brothers?
That's running?
Yeah.
Keep running, bro. Number one, keep running. Because you're going to have to run all your life. You're going to spend the rest of your life running. That's just,
sure.
That's an unfortunate reality. You're going to spend the rest of your life running, right? Keep running, brother. But at the same time, there has to be some accountability in your home, right? There has to be some accountability in your home. As far as like, as the man, you got to show your woman that you accountable to somebody. You got to show your woman that you have accountability. Men around you holding you accountable for your actions, right? So now you have, as being the head of your household, the word head mean example. So now you, as the example, you are in a place of authority of saying, baby, you need some accountability. You need a mentor. You need a woman's group that's giving you you need some sort of accountability.
Right. I can't tell her that though, because then she's going to get all irrational. She's going to start fussing and she's going to start, with all the rah, 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 rah. I ain't got time for that.
Okay. So with you being in that place, you're destined to get tired of running.
It's not going to end well.
You're destined to get tired of running. You're going to shut down. You're going to become an empty shell of yourself. And one thing about it is women, they pay attention. They pay attention to you. And they see you not yourself. In their head. Bing, 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 bing. Oh, girl slipping. Girl slipping.
My answer I would give is, for example, let's say I fell on the ground and I was unconscious. What would y'all do?
Wake you up.
Yeah, I would try to
call 911.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna shake you first.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring you back.
I appreciate your faith, your childlike faith. But he would call 911 because there's an emergency. In other words, we have to escalate this situation before it gets worse.
Right. In a perfect world, that will work.
In a perfect world. But
unfortunately, men don't.
I understand.
People don't do that.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, based on the scenario he gave me, that relationship is heading towards death.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to escalate that. If you have an unmet need and there's someone on the outside of your home, hey, big head, willing to meet that need, their relationship is in a bad place. Because not only is there an unmet need, there's someone on the outside of it willing to meet it. And it's only so long, as he said, before that man stops running. You're going to have to escalate that with a third party. How y'all get to that third party, I don't know. I'm just telling you what you need. Just like I would need paramedics, they need someone to help assist them in preventing that relationship from spiraling further into a bad situation for them as well as the kids.
But she just got in her mind that, I handle my business, because she provides him with sex. She provides him with, all of those things. She feel that she have kept her due diligence, right? But all he's asking for is a little RESPECT.
A lot.
You see what I'm saying?
I guess a little goes a long way. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if you have been commanded to respect him, but you don't do it, right? And then you say, well, he has to be worthy of my respect. Hold on, wait. I've been commanded to love you. You have to be worthy of my love? And I've been commanded to love you the same way Christ loved the church. And the love that Christ gave the church was unconditional. We didn't do anything to get it. Right? Right. So I'm just saying that the whole respect thing is so important. It's so vital. And what is the opposite of respect? Disrespect, right? And so that is a very common thing. And I know a lot of our sisters listen to me saying what I'm saying. Well, what about the disrespect he give me? Well, what about... We're not talking about you right now.
Well, I'll say this too. Because
You know what I'm saying?
Because we're different. How men internalize and receive respect is different from how a woman receives and internalizes respect.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible for a woman to love you if she doesn't respect you. It's impossible. She may sleep with you.
Right.
It's impossible for her to love you.
That's good, bro. That's deep.
It's impossible for me to feel loved if you don't respect me.
Mm.
Yeah, you can give me amazing sex, but you don't love me. Because when we're in public, you show your behind. You emasculate me regularly. I don't feel like a man. I can't feel loved. Not only that, you lose your attraction for me if you don't respect me. Think about the women, even if it's the future archetype, even if it's the bad boy.
Right.
She's attracted to him because on some level, she admires him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she sees all the other stuff, but there's a trait in him. The reason she's there is because on some level, she looks up to him. Whether he's willing to speak his mind, whether he's unapologetically himself, his convictions, his ability to pull whatever the case, she looks up. Is something in him that he has she doesn't have.
That's good.
That's so good. When a woman
Cooking.
Yes.
When a woman disrespects you continually, there's nothing in you that she looks up to. And it's impossible for her to love you the way you need her to love you. She can't do it. It can't happen. That's why they need to escalate. That's why it has to be escalated. That relationship is on the ground, unstable. It's a bad place to be. I'm going to say this too. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about counseling because I talk about counseling a lot. I mentioned that if you're dating with intention, you're looking for fit. You can't cheat the process. You can't cheat the process. If you're not serious about vetting, counseling becomes a checkbox. You reduce it to a formality. It's just something we do. Okay, we got counseling here, but yeah, we got the caterer. We got to meet with the caterers after count. We're going to do this, then we do that. Counseling is a third-party resource which is designed to help you two do what you should have been doing the whole time. That's vetting. You're determining, does she fit you? Do you fit her? You should already be having a lot of these conversations. A good counselor is supposed to ask you questions, give you exercises designed to stimulate the conversation. And from there, you're supposed to decide. I don't believe it's a counselor's job to tell you you shouldn't marry. I don't think it's their job to do that. Now, what a minister can do is say that, hey, we've completed the course, we completed everything. I don't feel comfortable marrying you two, but you two are free to proceed and do what you want to do.
Right.
I see too many things here that y'all need to work on, but feel free to go to courthouse, someone else to do it. You just know where I stand on it. I think they reserve the right to do that. But I don't think it's their place to tell them what they should or should not do. Their job is to give you the tools and the resources to have the conversation themselves. But if I'm not serious about it and I'm looking for validation, back to that previous point, I'm going to treat this. I can see red flags all through counseling, just like that brother saw it.
You best believe he did.
He saw it. That wasn't his first, and that wasn't his first time being disrespected either.
You talking about my altar brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't his first time. Now it's overt.
Right.
He never pulled her to the side and said, hey, that's a no-no. And if you're going to be good at vetting.
Hold on, let me say this. What if his mama always disrespected him like that?
Assembly line.
You've been trained, you've been groomed.
Absolutely. That is a thing. That is a thing. It's just like on the flip side, men fathers who are very verbally abusive to their daughters,
Yeah.
they tend to go after guys who's going to verbally abuse them.
Right.
And if the guy's not verbally abusing them, they feel bored. He's lame.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because when dad was verbally abusing her, it made her feel some type of way. It clicked on the fight or flight, adrenaline, all that. So
It's trauma bonding is what it is.
right. So as she get older, she's experienced that so much to where it's very familiar. And she's been in that place for so long. Now, that position of being in that place, that fight or flight, it becomes like a drug. Become addicted. So you gotta have somebody to talk to you like that.
On the flip side, that's how it could potentially be for men.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So because one thing about it is having that feeling and that experience, it becomes so common to you to where now it's familiar. So engaging with somebody, if they don't bring you to that place of familiarity, this is different. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh my God, something different, it becomes a scary place. It's unknown. It's not predictable. You understand?
Yeah.
With him talking to me like that, the way I feel is going to be predictable. And so that's the reason why people that have control issues is because if I can control it, it's predictable. You understand?
Yeah.
If I can't control you emotionally, that's not predictable. That's scary. So I got to get away. But if I know if I say this and do this and you respond that way, it's predictable. So I got to keep doing that because this situation is predictable. I'm comfortable. I am in control. You understand what I'm saying? So all of that stuff, I'm just saying, if his mama been disrespectful, I was just at the doggone store. I saw a mama telling her son, boy, get your stupid retarded up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like,
Yeah. I talk about this all the time.
Yeah, you do.
why? That's your baby. Like,
Yeah.
and he just get up and so if he's being talked to like that, and then he go out here and he get his girlfriend, and she talk to him like that, that's familiar. So because it's familiar, I'm comfortable with it. But it's eating away at your soul. You understand?
He acts out later on in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
acts
why.
out.
That's why.
When he gets stood up on a day.
Right. That's why another situation, an older couple, you know what I'm saying? This was years ago. They like in they late 80s. Not late 80s, probably like early 80s, right? LP, can you pray for my husband? Yeah, I can. Yeah. Everything okay? He just won't come out of them streets. He running behind women, and I'm scratching my head. I'm like, out of the streets? He's running behind women? It's an old man.
You said like 60 something, right?
I said in their 80s. How?
Right.
Viagra?
but I'm just,
Actually, I'm not. No, go ahead.
I was just giving an example to what you were saying, that he's experiencing that and he acting out later in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing. I'm not trying to be partial. Same thing with women. You got a lot of women, they doing the hot girl summer thing, and they're in their late 50s. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
because it's a great possibility she got married young, and that man was oppressing her, disrespecting her, you know what I'm saying, running around on her all through her younger years.
I argue they just got drunk off the attention from their younger years, and they still crave it.
That's. I was just giving an example of a byproduct, but that right there is true too.
Yeah,
that right there is true
it's
too.
like the dude who still feel like he can run a 4.40.
Stop talking about me, bro.
I think you still got it in
That
you.
is an excellent point, bro.
Just saying.
That is an excellent point. Somebody like myself.
That's why she thinks she can do hot girl summer, because she was to run that 4.40 with ease.
That's real, because back in 93, she was the baddest thing walking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
In her head, she still is.
In her head, she still is, and she got to show and prove that she still got, bruh. That is, bro.
Just saying.
That's because, like me, from an athletic perspective, you know what I'm saying? I'm constantly trying to prove to myself that I still got it. You know what I'm saying? I got in my head, bro. Like I
Still
am
that dude.
I am the fastest thing walking. You know what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, your hamstrings like, please don't let this fool get on the field.
Bro, I done
please
tweaked the
don't
hamstring so many times, bro.
Please don't let this
I done
dude.
tweaked the hamstring so many times.
Yeah.
Because so I get it. I can see how an older woman who used to have it, if she see these little young girls, you know what I'm saying, at the red light twerking on the headlight, you know what I'm saying? and she like, I show these, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can see that.
They
I
can
can
see
see that.
me in 93. Let me show them I still got, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see it, bro. I can see it. Wow. And that comes from, you know, as young people, thank you. I just caught that. That come from when we were younger. As an athlete, I sought validation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I sought validation.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be good. I didn't want to be sorry, because if I was sorry, I wouldn't accept it. So I had to practice and practice. I had to get out there and compete because I wanted to be validated among my peers. So if a woman saw validation by how she looked, by how she performed, you feel me?
Yeah.
If she sought validation by doing that, and now she in a situation she don't feel validated,
She got to go get it.
she got to go do what brought her validation back in 93.
Oh, my gosh.
During the prime years. Well, in closing, man, you got your son here listening over. Like, to younger cats, when it comes to respect, it comes to the whole date. Like, what are some things that you would leave these kids with? Black got one. He just said, "Don't do it."
I'm gonna give my personal opinion in this.
Feel free.
Number one, personal development. You need to invest all your time and energy personally developing so that you can know your value. Literally, you not just somebody saying, no, you can see your worth and value as a person, because as you personally develop, you develop the intangibles. You understand? And once you got those intangibles, that increases your value as a person. Yeah. So you go through personal development, you make the necessary adjustments with who you are, how you should function to be able to better function with other people. That's number one. Number two, my personal opinion, get married early. My personal opinion is get married early. Mm. And the reason why I say that is because we have this thing in our society where it's like we're just teaching children, get your education, get the best job, get the career. We're not teaching relationship stuff. We're not teaching our children. The only thing we're teaching is little boys don't hit little girls. Little boys don't hit little girls. You hold the door open for a girl. And the girls is hearing, yeah, the boys ain't supposed to hit little girls. They supposed to open the door for me. You understand? So again, that's where that one-sided thing
He's there to serve her.
Taking place, right?
He's
you know what I'm saying?
Her. Yeah.
And so when it comes to getting in relationships and getting married early, it gives you the ability to get all the necessary training that you need so that you can thrive in your relationship later. You understand? And so we like, no, you need to get your education and focus on school and focus on getting your money. And you focus on school, you focus on getting your money. You don't have a clue what it means to be married.
Right.
She definitely ain't got a clue what it means to be married because she been hustling and grinding and getting her master's and getting her doctorate you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So through the process, they just been doing little hookups, and they never got the opposite. So now you're 34. You're 35 now. Okay, now I need to get married. You done been in 5 different relationships, and you done been hurt 5 different times, just hooking up, right? No strings attached, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you done been hurt. You done been just being out there, somebody done sexually violated you. So you got all this trauma from what you gone through over all these years. And now you finna get married. So you finna bring all that trauma from all those different people that you've been dealing with while you was working on your education, while you was working on getting your money, while you understand? So now you finna get married at 35 and 40. You finna bring all that stuff. Same way with the dude. The guy, he's never been taught, hey man, you gotta be, we talked about this before, we never been taught sexual discipline. We're not teaching that to our little boys, to these young boys, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, you gotta be disciplined, man. You can't just be out here just spreading yourself out there like that, right? So he's getting his education, he's getting his money. So he got all his education, he got all his money. So guess what? All the women want him. And so guess what? Because we ain't been talking to him about discipline and stuff like that, everybody getting it. And then at 35, it's time to get married.
Oh my God.
So you got this guy that he's been conditioned that he's that dude because he got all the credentials and he got all the money, he got all the education, and he been spreading his stuff out. So now he's just gonna stop.
No.
Then you got the girl who done been through all these situationships. She done been hurt. She done been let down. She done been sexually taken advantage of, all this trauma. And she finna just get married. But if y'all caught each other at 23, 24, and got married then, y'all just know y'all. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And all the kinks and stuff, you working all that stuff out. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
You talking to somebody, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? In our marriage, in the beginning, we struggled. Right? But
every marriage is going to struggle.
Right. But we were young and we didn't have all this junk that we could have accrued.
Right.
If we would have waited until you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. So that's what I would tell. That's what I teach. When I'm talking to young men,
gotcha.
I'm like, look, bro, you know what I'm saying? Listen, bro, you can't be out here woo, bro. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And then, bro, if you get you got one, bro, and she it, bro, lock her down, bro. You feel me? Lock her down, bro. Go on, marry that woman, go sit down, bro, and handle your business. You feel me? Y'all grow together and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion on that.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, did you have any wise words you would share?
I got so many thoughts, but
give us one.
Well, no, it's gonna lead to another conversation. So
I'm not gonna say nothing.
No. I think it's productive. I think it has value. In my head, I'm thinking like, okay, LP, what you doing next Friday? So we can.
He'll pull up again.
I know he will. I know he will. I don't doubt him.
Did you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I love what you said.
Same.
I love what you said. I would tell brothers to just, I think about brothers like the guy in the first clip that played. You gotta learn how to be competitive. You just gotta learn how to be competitive in the dating market. I was thinking about the analogy of, we're entering football, college football. I was thinking about the service academies, the armies, the navies, the air forces. They can't recruit like your major programs, like the Georgias, the Bamas, the Ohio States.
Never has a 5-star been at a service academy.
For obvious reasons.
Right.
So the service academies have figured out how to still be competitive on any given Saturday. They had to think outside the box, but we don't have 5 stars, but we can out scheme you. We can run a wishbone. We're going to run all this stuff you haven't seen. And what the goal is to neutralize the competitive advantage these other schools have. You may not be 6 feet tall. You may not have a lot of money.
That's good, bro.
But you can build yourself up to where you can neutralize the things that women typically select for in a guy. And learn how to talk to women. Work on yourself. That brother had something that you had that I sent you on that video. I don't think y'all noticed it. You got it pulled up?
Yes. And it's I guess strabismus.
Cross-eyed.
Oh.
Most people didn't even notice that.
I didn't notice it.
He was cross-eyed. Talk to me. How do you address that?
It says treatment for strabismus, and they have parentheses lazy eye treatment, will be determined by the underlying cause of the condition and the severity of the eye misalignment. Correction for strabismus normally happens with either glasses or eye muscle surgery.
In other words, there's ways to improve yourself. This whole podcast and channel exists to improve yourself. You can get in the gym. You may not be the tallest dude, but you can be fit. You can be healthy. You can be healthy in your mind. You can go to therapy. You can get right spiritually. You can educate yourself, learn a trade, start a bit. You can do these things. You can learn how to run a wishbone off. You can neutralize
That's good, bro.
the talent.
That's good.
And then you can learn how to talk to women, learn the pathology of women, because see, there's dudes who ain't even done none of what I talked about. They at home chilling, but can pull various women. And I'm not telling you to go be a player, but learn how to talk. Because see, there's men who got money. They check off all the qualifications, but can't talk to women. Mm-hmm. They still single. It's a lot. It's not as simple as I'm this guy, so where the women at running me down. It's not that simple.
Man, bro.
Some men got that.
I be scratching my head I'm like, dog, you
checking off the boxes,
make
but you
a
don't
lot
know.
of money, and you're a very intelligent guy.
Yo, P, but he gets around women and get goofy. He gets goofy. Am I off?
No.
Learn how to talk to women. Learn how to be. Again, what you said as a young kid, y'all put the reps in.
Yeah.
To when you around a woman, you ain't. You got thick skin.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna be pretty. Not every play is gonna be a touchdown.
But if you know that she's not a fit, you're not devastated if she doesn't want to talk to you.
True.
She's not the fit.
You gotta learn. Like, hold on. You saw how she rejected me? You saw all that attitude? Boy, I dodged that bullet. Oh, wow. She didn't show up so she lacks integrity. I dodged that bullet.
That's not a fit. I need a woman who says she says she's gonna be here, she's gonna be there.
I got blessed. Let me say this. I got blessed with, I was able to link up with my wife because I met her, what I'm saying, at church, gave her my card, like, hey, come get your eyebrows done. She told me she would. But whenever I left her presents, I ain't stunned about that dude. Right? But the next Sunday at church, pastor was teaching on integrity. He said, if you told somebody you was going to do something, you need to do it. And she got convicted. And so she called me and said she's coming to get her eyebrows
That's
done.
why you
No
love.
way.
That's why you love Pastor Mike so much.
Oh my God. I got some stories, bro. But I got some stories, boy.
The ultimate wingman.
Oh my God. Pastor done came through so many times. But she heard that message and was like, I gotta go get my eyebrows done. Cause I told that boy I was gonna get my eyebrows. So she came, she got her eyebrows done, and she was like, I held my obligation. I'm done with this dude. You know what I'm saying?
So she thought.
But I saw her again at hey, hey, what's happening? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what? I'm fly, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Like them eyebrows looking bushy this Sunday.
No, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna talk to me no more. I thought, why don't we go out or something? You know what I'm saying? You know, let's talk on the phone a little bit. You know, like, and she like, oh Lord. So she talked to me on the phone, and she learned that I'm a really spiritually mature guy, and she gave me ear because of that. She like, let me see, let me ask him, and I'm like, she that gave. So 2 hours later, like, yeah, we talked on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I got some more ammunition. So now she's gonna go on a date with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it all started with her hearing, I gotta be a woman of integrity. I told this boy I was gonna come. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if she would have heard that message and said, I understand Pastor Mike said, but
Would you hear that a lot?
I dodged that bullet. If she wouldn't have, you understand what I'm saying? So they gotta be able to process that. Like,
For sure.
you know, if they reject it and she full of attitude or she nasty or whatever the case may be. Bro, you dodged the bullet, bro.
Everyone's not gonna fit you. Everyone's not for you.
Fine.
And that's okay. That's okay. Good conversation, brother. Thank you for coming by. I enjoyed this, man.
Man, thank you for the opportunity, man. Like I said, bro, like I'm a huge fan of what y'all doing, man. And being able to get this opportunity to chop it up with y'all, you know, we have some very deep conversations all the time. And, you know, whenever I'm watching y'all on the podcast and I'm seeing how amazing y'all are navigating through, you know what I'm saying, what y'all talking about, and seeing how people are interacting and they love the content. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that moment, y'all have become celebrities to me. So,
oh wow,
me getting the opportunity to ride, no cap,
Thank you.
real talk.
Thank you.
Me getting the opportunity to be on this podcast, man, it means a lot to me. And the fact that y'all have embraced me, you know, since y'all have gotten started. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah.
Anytime. God bless you, man.
That means a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no doubt, no doubt.
Guys, want to thank y'all for tuning in. You already know what to do. At THA The Tipping Point. One word. Plug yourself. Plug yourself real quick.
Man, it's your boy LP, a.k.a. LPZ. I'm turned up. I ain't turning down no time soon. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy on social media, LP Like Paul. That's LPLIKEPAUL. That's on Instagram, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? TikTok, all that, you know what I mean? So, holla at your boy, you know what I mean?
For sure. As always, I am Caesar Walker. That guy over there is Ronnie Gatry. That guy behind the scenes is Black. And we are the Tipping Point Podcast. Thanks again.